Hey nerds, today we're going to be painting some Khador models from Warmachine. We're going to start with mahogany air color through the airbrush. We're going to be spritzing the underside here. We're just trying to establish some dark areas on the model. And you're going to do that twice. I'm going to give it 2 coats of the mahogany. That second coat is really going to pull out the richness of the brown here. Next, we're going to add a little bit of light brown and a dot of olive green to the mix. And you're just going to keep adding light brown and increasing the contrast on the models until you're happy. And by the end of it, you should get a dingy, light brownish olive color. And here's a picture of the beginning and the finish. Next, I'm going to take steel from metal color from Vallejo. And we're going to pick out all the metal parts on the model, like the back of the legs, the piping. There's some joints that are metal. And you're going to go over all of that. And this stuff goes over nicely. I only needed 1 coat for most of this. Next, we're going to take Retributor Gold and pick out the exhaust on the top of the soldiers, the little belly trim, the shield trim, the shoulder trim, just trim. Anything that's trim, just pick it out. Trim. Gold. Trim. Ugh. And do the same for the big guys too. And by the time you're done with all the metals, your water is going to look like poop. So go change your water. Next, we're going to take Pro Acryl's Burnt Red and pick out some secondary parts, like the logos, the wrapping of the axe handles, this little metal doohickey thingy. And this stuff goes over really nicely. This was a joy to work with. And as far as red concerns, Pro Acryl makes the best reds. And the legs. The legs are important because I don't know what these models are called. I don't play Khador, so these are called the red legs. For anybody who wants to correct me, go ahead. And this is what the finished base coats look like. And you can see the grunt side touch the top of their heads with the red too. And for the big guys, I did the flaps and the center section of their arms. And now we're on the shading. Ignore the Seraphim Sepia. We just take Agrax Earth Shade, and we are going to cover the model. You're going to put it on everything. 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 I'm going to let that dry, and this is what it looks like once it's done drying. Should be nice and crusty looking, which is not what you want to hear anything called. You don't want to be crusty. Crusty is bad. Man. Alright, next we're going to take dark aluminum and we are going to pick out the edges of the silver. And you don't want to cover the whole part, you just want to scrape the edges and get the raised parts. This is going to give you a good separation and contrast on the silvers. And pick any nuts and bolts you missed, including the rivets. All 7,000 million, 150 jillion rivets on these models. And here you can see that lighter silver really pop over the darker silver. Adds a nice bit of contrast to your metallic colors. And next we're going to take gold, a simple metal color, and we're just going to do the same thing for the Retributor armor that's already applied to the model. You don't want to completely cover the Retributor armor, you just want to pick out some of the edges and raised areas to make it pop a little bit. And then you're gonna get his tummy. And next I add the last three colors, light flesh, Rhinox hide, and scarlet to the palette. And I'm going to make you watch my stomach jiggle. Look at my tummy. Look at my belly. So you're just going to pick out the axe handle with the brown. And then we're going to fill in the face with some light flesh. And then we're going to mix in a tiny bit of scarlet to the light flesh just to give them some color. And then we're going to fill in the mustache with Rhinox hide. And we're going to take that scarlet, water it down a little bit, and pick out the corners of the shield to make that pop a little bit. And lastly, I'm just going to scrape the edges of the handle to give a little bit more contrast to the red on the handle. And then we're done. These models were a joy to paint. They're very simple. They're not crazy exotic like the Drukhari models I've been painting lately. And the reason I'm doing this is because Warmachine is the game that I play main, and our group is doing a little starter box handout where we just take a couple starter boxes and the members paint a starter box. So I took home Khador and Skorne being my normal army, and we're going to use these starter boxes to attract new players to the group. So if you've got a friendly local game store and you got a group you want to play with and you want to attract more players, try just painting a starter box and having an army that will just sit around, and if somebody wants to play a demo game, you can use that to advertise your group. So if you like this shindig, give me a like, a comment, subscribe, all that shit. Thank you for watching. I'm Jake, and I'll see you next time.